What is good, NIO family? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one, I'm going to be talking about the one and only NIO stock, what you should be looking out for the future. I'm also going to do some in-depth technical analysis and give you guys my price prediction for tomorrow based off the charts are showing and based off the data is suggesting. I'm also going to bring up the data is showing for NIO, what's happening to the overall markets and how this may affect NIO, and also what NIO put on their Twitter page, which is very big news for their future. Now, before I break anything down, before I get into any more details, I do have to mention a couple of things before starting. Firstly, I'm not a financial planner. Don't take any of this as financial advice whatsoever. And also, if you guys can, please smash the like button if you want to see more videos like this. Not only benefits me, it benefits the entire NIO community as a whole. And the last things, if you guys can, please check out the Webull link down below and in the description. If you sign up for Webull, the link down below, and deposit any amount of money into the account, you're guaranteed up to 12 free stocks, each worth up to $2,000. And the best part is any of these 12 free stocks could be a free NIO share, a free Tesla share, or a mix of all of them. It's a limited time offer. The offer ends in just 2 days. Check it out before they run out. With that out of the way, let's get on with the video. So looking at NIO, this thing's up about 1.3% for the day. We're closing in about 10 minutes for the market, and so far it's doing pretty decent. Now, one thing that's not the best is the fact that the overall market is pushing up as well, and NIO actually is only up like 1%. However, historically, when the market tends to make those big moves or like big drops, I've noticed that NIO tends to actually delay the big move by a little bit. And considering the fact that we did form almost like a double bottom, this is very close to it. And considering that this almost looks like an inverse head and shoulder like formation, it's not exactly the same. We got a nice push up here. We are showing some pretty decent signs. What I am liking is the 10-year treasury yield is starting to come down. It has a gap up here, so it may come down. It may come up later on. But for the short term, it's starting to trend to the downside, and it is actually filling the gap right over here. So this could be a pretty decent sign for the markets. I'm hoping that it continues to drop just a little bit more. And if it does continue to drop and enters this very critical zone around that $36 level, that could be a good sign for the markets. Now, as a result of this, the QQQ, the NASDAQ, the SPY, they're all pushing up almost in unison. And we can see the SPYs just trying to go for this gap fill right over here right now. So right now, the market has some temporary relief. And I do think that this could actually help NIO over the next couple of hours, over the next couple of days. It's very, very possible. So what's going on with the data? Right now, the overall volume is still kind of low, guys. So that's not the best of signs. We're not pushing on like as high volume as before, but it is just a 1% move, so it's not that surprising. And the shorts volume percentage is actually kind of decent. It's very close to 50-50 right now, so it's not in the best of states. But what is pretty decent is when you look at the options chain, max pain is at $18. So that could be a sign that NIO might push up closer to 18 as we close the week. Now, overall, the put to call ratio is still in favor of the calls. So a lot of people are still over leveraged on them, so to speak. And it doesn't seem to be mattering too much just yet. Now, when it comes to the data, right now, going down right here, the price pairs comparison right here is showing that NIO has been outperforming the overall market. If you look at the overall price pairs ratio, right now NIO is a little bit higher. It's still starting to respect an uptrend, which shows NIO is outperforming SPY at least to some degree over the last like couple of weeks when you take them all into consideration. So pretty good sign. Price comparison. Right now, SPY did drop a bit. It's starting to bounce a bit, and that is helping NIO. As far as the volume goes, pretty decent things. And Thursdays actually tend to not be the best days. They tend to be okay days overall. So that's the reason why I'm a little bit like cautious when it comes to what I'm trying to say. Short interest is pretty decent, still kind of on the high end overall compared to like the month of August. So please be very cautious there. Now, what does this mean for NIO? What does all this data suggest? Right now, NIO is fighting some resistance, but we have some potential to push up again going forward. The first thing is looking at SPY. This thing is going for the gap fill. It looks like it really wants to fill the gap up here. It wants to hit that 373 zone. I don't know if we're going to truly get it. We might actually end up getting it. We have lots of nice volume actually coming in. So with that said, if we continue to see SPY hold up these levels pretty well, the whole market starts to hold up, that could really help NIO for tomorrow. Right now, NIO is still up over 1%. It's starting to come down just a little bit, but I'm hoping that we can actually see this inverse head and shoulders like formation kind of like play out. If it's not a true one, since we are a little bit like too high on the right side, it's still okay because we do have potential to push above this key zone right here. So the resistance that kind of slowed NIO down is that 17.46 zone. I wanted to map that as resistance. I'm not sure why it adjusted. So right there, that's where our key resistance is. If NIO comes down below that zone, we have a lot of price action between $17 and then 16.66. So right there, that's where our key support is. We also have support at 16.5. Please watch those levels very carefully. Let me just highlight both of these. That's for the potential downside support zones. If this thing pushes to the upside, we got to break 17.46. If we break that, we have the potential to push to about 17.8, if not $18 if we do get a big break from there. So these are very tight zones. I could actually see NIO coming up to this zone relatively soon if the market continues to get some relief. Now, looking at this right here, the overall setup, we have a lot of price action right here between the 17.5 and $18 level. NIO tends to like trading around this range, so hopefully we can get a break all the way back up here. It looks like it wants to do that. It is respecting a bit of an uptrend from here. So if we do get that break, that's where I expect to see NIO trading a lot. So this is the assumption that NIO does break to the upside. If we get the big break that we are all hoping for, what NIO could end up doing is, first off, NIO might, excuse me, sorry guys, NIO might push up just like this. Now, if we somehow get a breakout, if the whole market gets that nice break that we are waiting for, if SPY manages to fill the gap, right? If SPY doesn't fill the gap like yet, we could try to do it in the morning. And if that's the case, NIO could actually push to about 17.8. We might get rejected off that, but if we continue to hold up, maybe NIO pushes a little harder and we go to about 18 bucks, very possible. Then after that, we trade sideways for some time. We start to chop in a different zone compared to before. Instead of kind of like holding this range from here to here, instead we're going to hold this range from here to here, this range right over here. So I would anticipate NIO is going to trade kind of sideways, kind of consolidate in this range for some time. And I'm hoping for a very high close in the 17s for tomorrow. And I really believe NIO could pull that off if the market allows it. So that's essentially what I'm predicting. It does depend on the overall market if things do continue to move the way we want them to. So please be very, very cautious when it comes to these moves and be ready for what is yet to come. As far as the technicals go, let me just show you what technical indicators are telling us. For a shorter time frame, you're going to see a more profound looking kind of like reversal trend. It is looking like this thing wants to reverse from where we are right here. What I'm going to be watching for is if we could continue from this reversal phase. On like a 2 hour, for example, we could use the 2 hour. You will notice that NIO is coming down for quite a bit of time. It looks like we want to bounce off 16.66. I'm hoping that that's the true bounce zone. If we do push up, we could actually get a buy signal. Not to mention RSI starts picking up. MACD is already starting to like open up in the opposite direction. On the daily, however, we are seeing something very different. So let me just pull up the daily chart right here. On the daily, you will notice that NIO has been just like dropping for quite a bit of time. If you look at it like this, it's just dropping and dropping and dropping. But what's good is if we are getting ready for that true bottom, you got to watch for tomorrow. RSI is starting to push up a bit. If the MACD starts to close a bit, and if we start to see our momentum indicators push a little bit to the upside, this could be a sign NIO is getting ready to reverse temporarily. So we don't have true confirmation yet, but so far, so good. It's really that simple. So anyways, for tomorrow, I'm hoping NIO pushes up. I hope we can retest $18, and I hope that NIO could actually close around the high 17s. That would be a very good sign for the future. However, guys, as awesome as this analysis is, I can't confirm this 100% because it depends on the market. The market has fake outs, the market tricks people. So be very cautious and do what you have to do. The last thing I want to talk about is this right here. On October 1st, 2022, one of their NIO EP9 supercars will be available for auction at the Peterson Museum. Once again, incredible piece of engineering. It really shows the creativity, the resilience of the company, and it's just part of why I'm still very bullish for the long-term future. With that said, considering everything going on, we do have big events coming up. Deliveries are going to come out for the month of September very soon. I'm going to make a video about that. I'm going to talk about the next earnings report, which should be coming out next month. I should talk about some other big things involving China. So be on the lookout for those videos. Big things are yet to come. I'm still super bullish long term, and I will most definitely see you guys in the next one. NIO to the moon because the long term future is bright, and peace out.